1. Riga Old Town, Vec Riga. Step into the living, breathing soul of Latvia, Riga's Old Town, or Vec Riga, a place where the cobblestones seem to echo with the footsteps of merchants, knights, and artists from centuries past. The air itself feels charged with history. As you wander the narrow alleys, you're enveloped by towering spires like those of St. Peter's Church, offering panoramic views of the city from its dizzying heights. The House of the Blackheads gleams with its intricate facade, a symbol of Riga's medieval guild traditions and mercantile wealth. The Dome Cathedral, with its colossal pipe organ and echoes of choral music, resonates like a heartbeat in the city. But it's not just the grand monuments that captivate. Every hidden courtyard, each vine-covered wall, and every street musician playing under a lamp-lit square adds layers to the experience. Riga Old Town is also a place of contrasts. Gothic arches give way to Art Nouveau curves, while centuries-old warehouses now host chic cafes, jazz clubs, and galleries. The Three Brothers, a row of medieval houses, stand like guardians of time, whispering tales of Riga's past. Visit at dusk, when the lanterns flicker on and the scent of roasted chestnuts mixes with the distant strains of a violin, and you'll feel like you've stepped into a timeless European fairytale. 2. Gauja National Park. A vast natural cathedral of forests, rivers, and cliffs, Gauja National Park is where Latvia's untamed beauty thrives. Spanning over 90,000 hectares, it's Latvia's oldest and largest national park, an ever-changing canvas where nature, myth, and history converge. The mighty Gauja River snakes through the landscape, carving out sandstone gorges and caves, while thick pine and birch forests stretch endlessly, filling the air with the scent of moss and needles. The Gutmanis Cave, shrouded in legend, bears the inscriptions of 17th-century travelers, their love stories and promises etched into the rock. In Sigulda, often called the Switzerland of Vigem, the landscape is dotted with ancient castles. Turreta Castle stands like a red brick sentinel, overlooking the valley in silent grandeur. Climb its tower for panoramic views of rolling hills, especially in autumn when the trees ignite in a riot of gold, amber, and crimson. Adventurers can soar above the treetops on Latvia's only cable car, or test their mettle on bobsled tracks and zip lines. In winter, the snow turns Gauja into a wonderland of cross-country ski trails and ice-clad rivers. But beyond the landscapes, there's a deep sense of folklore, the feeling that you're walking in the footsteps of heroes and lovers from Latvian songs, where every bend in the river could hide a secret, or a legend waiting to be told. 3. Jurmala Beach. Imagine a coastline where time slows down, and the horizon stretches into infinity. This is Jurmala, Latvia's iconic seaside retreat. For over a century, Jurmala has been the escape for artists, aristocrats, and dreamers, drawn by its 26-kilometer ribbon of white sand bordered by whispering pine forests. The Baltic Sea here is wild yet gentle, with shallow waters ideal for families and a refreshing breeze that seems to clear the mind. Stroll the Gintari Promenade, a walkway lined with chic cafes, art galleries, and live music stages, where the air is filled with the scent of sea salt and freshly baked waffles. But Jurmala is more than just a beach, it's a cultural haven. Its streets are adorned with wooden Art Nouveau villas, their intricate carvings and pastel hues standing as a testament to the town's historic charm. Many of these homes now host cozy guest houses, wellness spas, or artist studios. In summer, Jurmala comes alive with events like the Jurmala Festival, where world-class musicians perform beneath the stars, and the Lema Rendezvous, a glamorous concert series that draws crowds from across the Baltics. For those seeking wellness, the town's legendary spa culture, rooted in mineral-rich mud treatments and sea air therapy, offers a rejuvenating retreat. Whether you're soaking in a sauna, cycling through pine trails, or watching the sunset cast golden reflections over the Baltic, Jurmala promises a blend of relaxation, elegance, and timeless seaside beauty. 4. Kuldiga. Step into Kuldiga, a town where time seems to slow down, and every corner feels like a scene from a romantic painting. With its cobblestone streets, gingerbread-trimmed houses, and red-tiled roofs, Kuldiga is a jewel of Baroque-era Latvia. The crown jewel is the Venta Rapid Ventus Rumba, Europe's widest natural waterfall, where water cascades in a wide, graceful arc over ancient rocks. Stand on the historic Kuldiga brick bridge, one of the longest of its kind in Europe, and watch the river sparkle in the sunlight, the sound of rushing water mingling with birdsong. In spring, the flying fish phenomenon turns the river into a stage for nature's acrobatics, as fish leap upstream in a spectacular display. Kuldiga's charm lies not just in its natural beauty, but also in its atmosphere, a place where locals greet you with a smile, and cafes spill onto the streets serving honey cakes and herbal teas. Visit the St. Catherine's Church, an elegant 17th century landmark, or wander through the old town hall square, where every building tells a story. Kuldiga isn't just a town, it's a feeling. It's the quiet joy of sitting on a bench by the river, watching the light shift across the water. It's the warmth of a local craftsman sharing tales of their trade. It's the sense of being part of something timeless, as if you've stepped into a story that's been unfolding for centuries. 5. Cesis medieval town and castle complex. Nestled in the heart of the Gauja River Valley, Cesis is a town where the echoes of knights and craftsmen still linger in the air. As you step onto the cobblestone square, the towering Cesis castle rises before you. Its weathered stone walls and crumbling towers tell stories of sieges, legends, and quiet resilience. Climbing the spiral stairs of the South Tower, a flickering lantern in hand, you're transported back to the 13th century, imagining the clang of armor and the distant sound of hooves on the drawbridge. From the top, the rooftops of Cesis spread like a patchwork quilt, their red tiles glowing in the afternoon sun, while the Gauja Valley's endless green forests stretch to the horizon. The old town of Cesis is a tapestry of history and charm. Pastel-hued wooden houses with lace-like carvings, the grand St. John's Church with its ancient organ, and cozy cafes serving warm honey cakes and local herbal teas. In summer, the air is filled with the scent of linden blossoms, and in winter, the square sparkles with festive lights and the promise of mulled wine. Cesis is more than a destination, it's an invitation to slow down, to breathe in the stories that live in its stones, and to feel the quiet, steadfast spirit of Latvia's heartland. 6. Rundale Palace and Gardens. A true jewel of Baroque elegance, Rundale Palace is often called the Versailles of the Baltics, and as you approach its grand facade, flanked by perfectly manicured gardens, it's easy to see why. Designed by the famed architect Francesco Rastrelli, the same genius behind St. Petersburg's Winter Palace, Rundale exudes a sense of grandeur and opulence that feels both timeless and awe-inspiring. The moment you step into the gilded Golden Hall, with its soaring frescoed ceilings and intricate stucco details, you're transported to the 18th century, a world of powdered wigs, courtly dances, and whispered intrigue. Wander through the palace's many chambers, each room tells its own story, from the intimate Duke's bedroom with its rich velvet fabrics to the grand White Hall, where echoes of Baroque music seem to linger. Outside, the French-style gardens stretch out in perfect symmetry, gravel paths bordered by fragrant roses, neatly clipped hedges, and trickling fountains create a tranquil, almost dreamlike atmosphere. At every turn, there's a sense of artistry and craftsmanship, from the statuary to the carefully restored details in the palace's stucco work. Rundale isn't just a monument to Latvia's aristocratic past, it's a testament to cultural resilience, having survived wars, occupations, and restorations. Spend a quiet moment on a bench beneath the lime trees, listening to the wind rustling through the leaves, and you'll feel the weight of history lifting, leaving only beauty and a sense of timeless grace. 7. Liepaja and the Karosta prison. Liepaja is a city of contrasts, where the Baltic Sea crashes against wild, wind-swept beaches, and where music, art, and history intertwine in unexpected ways. Known as the city where the wind is born, Liepaja's heartbeat is the sound of the sea, a constant, rhythmic backdrop to a place brimming with creativity and resilience. One of the most haunting, yet fascinating, places in Liepaja is the Karosta prison, a former military fortress turned Soviet-era prison, where history feels raw and unfiltered. Walking through its cold, bare corridors, you're struck by a chilling sense of what it meant to live under oppressive regimes. The graffiti on the walls, the rusted iron bars, and the worn wooden floors seem to echo with the voices of the past. Some visitors even choose to spend a night there, an immersive, if unsettling, experience that brings history into sharp focus. But Liepaja is more than its dark past. The Liepaja Seaside Park, with its swaying pine trees and art installations, invites visitors to slow down and breathe in the salty air. The Great Amber Concert Hall, a modern architectural marvel, glows like a jewel in the sunlight and pulses with music, from classical concerts to experimental performances. Strolling along Promenade Street, you'll find cozy cafes, street musicians, and murals that splash color onto the old brick walls. And when the sun sets, the city's spirit comes alive in its lively bars, and the hauntingly beautiful melodies of Liepaja's music scene. 8. Latgale's Lake District. In Latgale, the eastern heartland of Latvia, the landscape opens into a patchwork of shimmering lakes, rolling hills, and sleepy villages where life moves to the gentle rhythm of nature. Known as the Land of Blue Lakes, this region is a haven for those seeking serenity, solitude, and a deep connection to the land. Imagine standing at the edge of Lake Rosna, the second largest lake in Latvia, as the mist lifts from the water in the early morning light. Everything is quiet except for the distant cry of a loon, and the soft lap of water against the shore. Here, the lakes are like mirrors reflecting the endless sky, and the forests seem alive with the rustle of leaves and the scent of pine and wildflowers. Many lakes are dotted with small islands, and it's not uncommon to see fishermen in wooden boats, casting lines into the water, or locals gathering wild mushrooms in the undergrowth. In summer, the lakes sparkle under the long northern light, while in winter, they freeze into shimmering expanses of ice, perfect for skating or ice fishing. Latgale is also a place of deep cultural traditions, from the ceramic workshops of Latgalian potters, whose earth-toned creations have been passed down through generations, to the small, wooden Orthodox churches that dot the countryside, their onion domes glinting in the sunlight. Visiting Latgale isn't just about scenery, it's about immersion, tasting homemade honey, listening to ancient folk songs, and feeling the quiet pride of a region deeply rooted in its heritage. 9. Cape Kolka, Kolkasrags. At the very northern tip of Latvia, where the Baltic Sea meets the Gulf of Riga, lies Cape Kolka, a windswept, hauntingly beautiful place where the land feels both ancient and eternal. Standing at the edge of the cape, you can see the waters of the two seas swirl and clash, their colors distinct, the deep blue of the open Baltic, merging with the greenish gray of the Gulf. The wind here is fierce, carrying with it the scent of salt and seaweed, and the cries of seabirds circling overhead. Cape Kolka is a place of stark, wild beauty. The beach is wide and rugged, scattered with driftwood and the occasional shipwreck fragment, reminders of the treacherous waters, where countless sailors have braved the elements. The surrounding Gauja National Park is one of Latvia's oldest, protected areas, home to ancient forests of twisted pines, and moss-covered dunes that seem to breathe with a life of their own. In spring and autumn, the Cape becomes a vital bird migration point, drawing ornithologists and nature lovers, who come to witness the skies filled with flocks on their long journey across continents. Yet there's also a profound sense of solitude at Cape Kolka. Standing there, with the wind in your face, and the endless sea before you, it's easy to feel small, humbled by the vastness of nature and the passage of time. It's a place to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the earth, the sea, and your own quiet thoughts. 10. The Hill of Daugavpils Fortress. In the southeastern city of Daugavpils, where Latvia's rivers and railways converge, stands an imposing relic of imperial might, the Daugavpils Fortress. This massive 19th century fortress, the only one of its kind in northern Europe that has survived largely intact, is more than just a historical site. It's a labyrinthine world of stone ramparts, moats, and echoes of centuries past. As you walk along the fortress walls, the sheer scale of the complex becomes clear. Bastions, gates, and tunnels stretch out like a giant's playground, and each corner seems to hold a secret. The fortress isn't frozen in time, though. Today, it's a living space where history and modern culture coexist. The Mark Rothko Art Center, named after the world-renowned painter born in Daugavpils, is housed within the fortress walls, blending contemporary art with the raw, rugged backdrop of the old military site. Walking through the galleries, surrounded by Rothko's luminous works, you feel the contrast between creativity and confinement, beauty and brutality. Outside, the fortress grounds are a place to wander, to watch the light shift across the river, or to imagine the fortress in its heyday, bustling with soldiers and traders. Daugavpils itself is a city of layers, its architecture a blend of Russian Orthodox churches, 19th century buildings, and Soviet-era housing blocks, while its people carry the stories of a borderland where cultures and histories collide. Visiting the fortress is a reminder of Latvia's complex past, and a testament to its enduring spirit.